plus dehydrated vegetable flours made from carrots, spinach, kelp, lettuce, pumpkin, cabbage, parsley, and onions, potatoes, bone meal, and sunflower seeds.
You're kidding.
No, this is a special health bread, marketed at about twice the price of ordinary bread. Now, these poor rats had only ordinary enriched white bread.
Well, I'll be darned.
I can't find any differences. Neither can the scales nor the rats.
What do you mean?
Here's a chart. Weight, general activity, and reproductive activity, and all the rest, see?
Why do people buy these expensive special foods?
There's a food faddism sweeping the country. It's a sort of a big lie technique promoted by the people who want to sell these things. You can double your food bill that way, but not your nutrition.
But where do these odd notions about food originate?
Man has always built up magic when he felt insecure. Here, take a look at this. Well, this fine gentleman was also an authority on nutrition. I'm afraid he got most of his information from his grandfather, however, and neither of them were very scientific about it.
Now to the heart of the lion, we add the brain of the wolf for cunning.
Now, this gal was worried about her complexion.
Pearl of rare beauty, O Queen, to make your skin as smooth as a lotus blossom, and may love attend you forever.
This guy could never work the same territory twice. He might have gotten lead poisoning himself.
Wolf milk, that's what it is, brothers. The most potent medicine money can buy. Good for what ails you. Come on, step right up, gents. What do you got to lose except all your aches and pains? Come on, get it while it lasts.
Well, what does it all add up to, Doctor?
Fear, mainly. Fear mixed with superstition and ignorance. Bad combination in anyone's diet.
That sounds pretty serious.
It is. People who fall for food quacks often spend large sums of money buying so-called food supplements, money which could be spent more soundly if they were to buy groceries, which would provide them with a balanced diet.
Now, what about the relationship of food to cancer?
We've been conducting an experiment for some 15 years now on this topic. We may not know anything really for another 20 years. Any generalization that all disease is caused by diet deficiency is a very great and dangerous exaggeration.
And some people find it so easy to be sure.
Quacks and charlatans have been preying on the sick for centuries. The real danger is that people with very real symptoms may try to cure them by diet instead of going to a doctor for a proper diagnosis.
I can see how that might be. I suppose it's needless to ask if seaweed could be the source of longer life.
Oh, that's straight from the Bible of old Bernard Wolfe.
Well, that's how I got started on this story. Some of his ideas seemed, well, to say the least, exaggerated.
You could have said distorted, and it might have been more accurate. Take this sea theme of his, for example. Now, a lot of legitimate research is being done on all forms of sea life, but that's a long jump from calling it the fountain of youth.
I see. A grain of truth with enough distortion can become a gold mine.
Exactly.
Well, I've taken up too much of your time already, but thanks very much for all your help.
You're most welcome.
Good day.
Sure, we'll help anyone to educate the public about quackery in any form.
How do these characters get by? Aren't there laws of some sort?
Society always indulges the quack. I suppose because on the surface their crimes don't seem so violent as kidnapping or murder. But when one of these birds gets a hold of a patient who could be cured with proper medical care, and as a result of that, the patient dies, well, to me, that's manslaughter or even murder.
I I never thought of it quite in those terms before. Are there many cases of it going that far?
Yes, we had one recently where a diabetic was taken off insulin by a quack who was selling cactus juice. The boy went into a coma and died.
Well, that's horrible. What happened to the guy selling the cactus juice?
Well, we managed to put him out of circulation. But not all the operators are so easily caught.
How about this Vital Life outfit?
Well, you might be interested in hearing how some of these boys operate. Now, these tapes were made while one of them gave his spiel. Now, listen to this one. And you think my taking Vital Life will help me?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it sounds mighty good to me. What about my little girl? She's kind of crippled up.
Oh, that's too bad. Say, you know, ain't it a crying shame that the doctors don't seem to be able to help none? Now, you take my little Carol. Why, she'd had so many shots that she looked like a pincushion. And they were probably causing her a lot of harm. But she was having some sort of spells of some kind. And one night I was getting pretty upset about it. Well, that very next night, the Vital Life people come to me, and I put my little child on the stuff, and from that day, mister, to this, she ain't had no shots, and she ain't had no spells either. I don't know what's wrong with your little girl, but I know we love them more than anything, and we shouldn't keep what they need away from them.
That's fantastic. It's hard to imagine that they would stoop to preying on sick kids.
Yes, the little girl had leukemia. And it's a federal offense to offer for sale any food supplement preparation as a cure for that kind of disease. But it's difficult to get evidence for a conviction. Even when we do, they usually get only light sentences.
I can't get over how sincere that fellow sounded.
But that doesn't make him any less dangerous. Sincerity or ignorance can't always be considered harmless when we're dealing with human life.
I wonder how big this racket has really become.
We don't know, but we keep a constant check on it. And so does the American Medical Association and the National Better Business Bureau. But it's like an iceberg. Only a small part shows on the surface. Excuse me. Hello, Inspector Corley. Yes, I know the man. Yes, I would be interested. Thank you very much. Well, there was a disillusioned follower of Wolf. She just spotted her fallen idol in a restaurant behaving like the rest of us mortals.
That I'd like to see. It'll be good for my story. Let's go.
All right?
Dr. Wolf.
What is the meaning of this? I have no time to interview you right now.
Just a couple of routine questions. How many people have died as a result of your treatment? How many victims have you left in broken health? How much money have you made from this racket?
This is outrageous. What right do you have?
What about the rights of the people you swindled, Doc?
Who hired you? I know your game. You're part of the plot of the big industrialists and the medical associations. They're afraid of me, that's what it is. They're afraid of the truth.
What a cheap, lousy crook.
All right, you think what you like.
Enjoy your embalmed carcasses. I hope they're all you say they are.
Looks as if a lot of us have been suckers. Doesn't seem very funny now, does it?
No. If that's all there was to it, we could laugh it off like Barnum.
I don't feel much like laughing.
Neither do I. Mary, this thing is bigger than the dope traffic and involves a lot more people. People who can't afford the money for useless pills and fancy food. They need it for milk and eggs, for bread, for meat and vegetables, the things that really make kids grow.
I just don't get it. Why do we all fall for these phony pitches?
Well, it's because people are afraid. And these bums play on the vague, hardly recognizable fears of average people like you and me. On the latent hypochondria in us all. It's time people saw the real story and learned how they're being cheated.
Guess we don't need this anymore, do
You
we?
bet we don't. You just watch a little homemade magic. girl in that new dress she wants. We just saved $30. It'll need more to her than those fool pills will anyway.
Brother, I've got some bad news for you. Did you know that the food you eat no longer contains sufficient nourishment to sustain life? And now, don't be alarmed, because I have here in these easy-to-take little crystals that miraculous new food supplement.
Mary, looks like we better call Inspector Corley again. Go on, get out of here, you bum. Beat it.
Daddy, you're the greatest, simply the greatest.